मनोबुद्धहंकार मनोबुद्धहंकार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमि न च व्योमभूमि न तेजो न वायुः न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं. Today is a very special day. From last evening it is snowing constantly and almost 3 inches already. So this is a situation, but this is a very good situation for meditation. As because there is no movement, there is no sound, and everything is all white, and whiteness is the color of Shiva. The whiteness is a symbol of Sattva. So thinking that way, if one can sit in meditation, and he can very easily control his mind. This is the beauty of this. Some people, they are asking how to control the mind. Certainly, as because they are having some problem, they are coming and asking how to control the mind. There is some shortcut, of course, is there. But as we are studying for the last more than 1 year, this is a science that one has to study very, very attentively and with a great longing of the heart. Then only we can be successful. We know ultimately whoever is teaching the meditation, ultimately we have to study this Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali. This is a unique way. The Patanjali, few hundreds years before, he organized the whole thing and gave in such a way. The very first thing that we have to understand, it is the mind of a human being. It is not the body. The body can be cured, body can be treated in a different way. But when it is the mind, it is the person only has to take that action. Otherwise, it is impossible. It is only the mind. So we have to take our responsibility. Every individual has to take his own responsibility. Otherwise, it is impossible. And what is there in the mind? First is yama. Yama means ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. Just a 2-letter small word is containing such a huge idea. The first is the ahimsa. On the basis of ahimsa, a religious path is there. In Bhagavan Buddha, he is telling ahimsa paramo dharma. And this whole Buddhism is standing on this particular theme, ahimsa. But here, ahimsa, at the same time, satya, then asteya, then brahmacharya, aparigraha. We have already discussed in details about all this in our previous classes. Then comes the niyama. That is also cleanliness mentally and physically. When we are working in the field, we are not very clean, we are dirty, all our clothes are dirty. If we think that we will meditate, it is not possible. There is a shaucha, externally and internally. This is also very, very, very important. And then santosha. In whatever condition, the santosha is necessary. The santosha means sometimes when we go, we get a very good acceptance. Many people are accepting us, appreciating us, but sometimes we are not getting that acceptance. Then what? Santosha means in every condition, whatever may be, that we must be contented. That is also a step, or we can say a position, or we can say a system to control the mind. When the mind is not contented, every time there is a desire, every time we want this or that, we cannot make it. Then the tapa, practicing sometimes without food, fasting, this is also cause of tapa. When we go to pilgrimage center, we are walking a long way, very arduous, very difficult, but constantly thinking, after this I am going to see my God, I am going to reach the temple, I am going to get the blessings of God. That is a tapa. Physically, mentally, lot of, and then the details of the tapa is written and has been given very nicely in the Bhagavad Gita. Swadhyaya, then scripture reading, this is also very, very essential. Otherwise, the feedback is necessary, constantly inspiration is necessary. So Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhan. Then asana, how to sit, this is action begin. Asana, pranayama, that is exactly where we were studying in our last class. This pranayama, on that out of the 8 steps of yoga, we have already discussed the 4 steps: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama. On the 25th January, in our last class, we have discussed about the pranayama, and there is a very special thing. It said, Baiha Abhyantara Vishayakshepi Chaturthaha. Majority of the people, they know, those who are connected with the yoga, they know that there are 3 steps in pranayama. First is inhaling, second is exhaling, giving out, and third is holding, either outside or inside. This is, but here it says Chaturtha, and in this Chaturtha is very, very important. Why? When one is perfected in these 3 pranayama, pranayama is very vital. Without the pranayama, no one can control the mind. Pranayama is the vital force, the oxygen that goes in our body. And the pranayama, that oxygen, that force, we are using in beautiful way. It says the external, internal, and the holding, and there comes the specific pranayama. It's called Bhumi Jaya. In the Sanskrit, it's called Bhumi Jaya. What is the Bhumi Jaya? In the Bhumi, literal translation is the land. You have to conquer the land. There's almost the war, a fight is going on inside the mind. Vishaya Akshepi, the crossing over the other 3 operation, and that is the 4th pranayama. How? Very normal. Suppose we are singing a bhajan, or hearing a lecture, or seeing something which is very, very attractive, or something is happening just before us. We forget how we are breathing, and sometimes we stop taking breathing, we stop over there, look at the thing, or think about that particular idea, holding our breath naturally, normally, and that is called Chaturthi. And they say from the Muladhara to Sahasrara, there are 7 stages, and we have to take the prana when you are taking in the breathing, we have to put it down to that Muladhara, the base of the spinal cord, It's not physically, but spiritually. When we reach over there, we have to take that breath and then clean that place. There's a flower, but it is covered with dirt. It's not opening up. We have to take our mind over there, and with that force of that air, we are cleaning that. This is the imagination. This is a beautiful way of meditation. So when we are sitting in a very simple way, and we can sit in such a way that our body is erect, both our shoulders are erect and the chin is straight, and then closing our eyes, taking a deep breath, sending it down to the last portion of the spinal cord, and there we find a tribhuja, a triangle form, and we have to clean that, and we find a beautiful, a golden lotus. In that is the main power, imagination. Then we are taking that slowly again up and up to the Sahasrara, Muladhara, Sadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata. Like this we go up to the Sahasrara. Everywhere we are cleaning that particular flower. Why they have imagined the flower is the symbol of devotion. Not that any doctor operating every time so many thousands of people are operated. Doctors never find these flowers, particularly the lotuses, but the yogis, they can. This is a strong imagination on the devotion based on knowledge. Devotion and knowledge together is giving us a wonderful opportunity to understand the identity of our real self. So this is called perfection. It is coming on the fourth form. Baiha Abhyantara Vishayakshepi Chaturthaha. That we studied last time. The fourth pranayama is restraining the prana by reflecting on external or internal object. That is what Swami Vivekananda says in 2 sentences. Just in 2 lines it is over. External or internal. When we see something, as I was telling, something very, very interesting, or when we are looking at something which is very exciting, we forget to take the breathing. Our breathing stops. And for some time, maybe for a long time, we are looking at that thing, observing so intently, we are not aware that our breathing process has stopped. So that is called Chaturthi. This Chaturtha, that is also the Kumbhaka, but so normal way. Same thing when we do consciously, we are going back and back to this God, and then we reach to God and we find that God is sitting within our heart. We are worshipping God, we are waving the light, putting Him the food and asking Him to eat. We are so much engrossed over there, working and excited that God is sitting within my heart. Our breathing stops naturally, normally, and that's called Vishaya Akshepi Chaturtha. What is the Vishaya? Inside. What is the Vishaya? God. Inside, God is residing. Over that, when we concentrate in such a way that we forget to take breathing and it becomes a kumbhaka, and holding naturally, that is Chaturthi, and this is very, very important. In the Yoga Darshans, they say, when the explanations, they say Udgatha. Udgatha, it comes after practicing Udgatha. What is that Udgatha? That when it extend of time of pranayama without uneasiness. What is Udgatha? Pranayama we are practicing. I was in many places when we were trying to teach this type of pranayama. I have noticed people even cannot hold the breath 5 counting. When you are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, before that the releases. They cannot even hold that much time. So that we have to develop in such a way, slowly, when we are taking in, the last day I was telling, 8 times we are taking in. Counting Om, 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 Om like this, counting the finger and taking in 8 times. Holding for 32 times. Om, 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 Om like this if you can continue. And then releasing, because that time the whole body and the mind wants to release it. Air is there inside, but it is suffocating again. Though the whole air is inside, but it is suffocating. So naturally, our urge is to throw it out as quickly as possible, but you have to hold it and count 16 times. So when you are taking in 8 times, holding 32 times, releasing 8 times. This practice goes, they say, on the japa. Suppose we have a mantra. That mantra, when we are repeating, we are counting 1 and then taking in, like that 8 times, holding that for 32 times. And if you can see how long it takes, in the clock also you can keep, and we can see how much time it takes to count 1 mantra. So naturally 32 times of that. The counting 1 mantra, if it takes a second, I think a fraction of a second, not even a second. So let us say that it is 1 second, that means 32 seconds you have to hold. And then 16 seconds you have to release. So 8 seconds you are taking in, holding for 32, releasing for 16. This counting goes. Then when you are you're feeling easy at it, increase it, and it goes on increasing. When this complete practice is going on, it's called Udgata. This complete practicing this Udgata gives us a wonderful mental peace, because we can withdraw our mind. So, the Patanjali Rishi, in the 52nd sloka, he is mentioning Tata Shiyante Prakasha Avaranam. People may ask, what is there? Taking in the air and holding it and releasing, what is the special in it? What we are going to get? Rather, if we sing bhajan, rather if we go and pray, rather if we cook for God or clean the temple, that is the good work that we are doing, we can understand. What is there only taking in the breath and then holding and then releasing in this practice, so much of time is going, what is the result? Here, the next sloka, in the next aphorism, Patanjali says, Tata, as a result of this, Tata, as a result of this, by practice of pranayama, Avaranam Shiyante. Avaranam means the covering, Shiyante, removed. Shiyante, literally, it becomes thin, that means it removed. When the covering is removed, covering on which? Covering on the Atman. And it is getting removed just by practicing. And then what comes? He mentioned over here, Prakasha. Prakasha means the inner light is shown. So this is the importance of pranayama. Asana is important. Then afterwards, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, we will come to that. Then this pratyahara is coming, asana, then pranayama. After that comes the pratyahara, we will come to that. This Pranayama, when we are practicing, there the main thing, it removes the coverage. The covering is what? Ignorance. What is that ignorance? That I am the body, I am a human being, I belong to this family, I belong to this particular place, I belong to these and these. So many things is imposed on a particular person, but when we discriminate, what do you find? Nothing. When we are just removing the onion, we get nothing. That is the classical example always is given in the Vedanta. So going on peeling the onion and then ultimately it is nothing. Is it nothing? That is the main thing. So similarly, this Atman, which is Prakasha, which is illumined, which is light, that is completely covered by so many other things. Pranayama is helping us, because when we are taking breathing and then doing this and that, slowly, whole mind is coming back and automatically pratyahara. At the time of inhaling, the tips are given over here in the scripture. One must imagine that all good things are coming within me. When I am inhaling the air, just thinking the air is going in, no. Rather, we have to imagine very strongly, we have to imagine I am sitting in the temple, I am inhaling, and that is all good ideas that has been practiced over here for years together is going within me. Then take that, I was telling, take that and go on cleaning the whole body completely. If you have noticed that when the pujaris are doing the worship, they will be showing like this. Next time when you sit for a regular puja, perhaps they don't do, but for special puja, obviously they will be doing this both hands, that they will cross like this, from the legs up to the head. Completely they will cross like this. What does it mean? That he is thinking right from the head down to toe, everything is becoming holy. As a human being, I cannot worship God. So I have to transform myself into that holiness. Devam bhutva devam jajet. After transforming oneself into the divinity, the divine, then one can worship God. So God cannot be worshipped just like that. So similarly, these are the very special thing of the spirituality. We talk about spirituality, but mostly as they call skin deep. Whatever we do to engage ourselves, our mind is so restless. So when we get the different type of job, we are very happy. But when a person is asked to sit, he is not capable to do that. But that is the main thing. So one has to control his mind by yama, niyama, asana, pranayama. These are the first 4 steps. In the pranayama, bhumi jaya, ultimately we are going to conquer all the plexus that is there in the 7 plexus. There we are going, the bhumi. One after another we are conquering. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling, we just last time we were studying, the moment we reach to the heart, we get everything. Then it begins, the first spirituality begin from reaching to the heart, not before that. Shadachakra Veda, that is another word they use. Bhumi Jaya, Shadachakra Veda. This is the chakras. The result is Tata Shiyante Prakasha Avaranam. By that way, slowly we get that light. And again, in the 53rd aphorism, Patanjali mentioning Dharanasu cha yogyata manasaha. Without the pranayama, without practicing pranayama perfectly, we cannot develop the quality of dharana. This is the next step of dharana. So, dharanasu cha yagyata manasaha. By practicing pranayama, we can get this. At a time of kumbhaka, when you are holding the breath, we have to think, this is called dharana. We have to think that our mind is coming up slowly from the base to the Sahasrara. So from there, one after another steps it is crossing, and it is going up, and the moment it is going up, every step, in every places, everything is opening up in so wonderful way. So that gives the power of dharana. These are very technical terms, but when you practice ourselves, if we proceed a little, if we get a little joy in it, then we can understand and appreciate how important this is. I really feel I am not perfect, but again, as because of the little bit of practice, we can understand that this is the basis of joy. But thousands of people, highly qualified people, well-established people, respected people in the society, they are not at all in joy. Some people are doing something, and then by doing that, after doing that, they are suffering. Good thing they have done, but even after that, they are suffering. Why? The discrimination is not there, practice is not there. They are having everything, but only there is no peace, because they could not understand the mind. This is the important thing. That's why Swami Vivekananda in one place he is telling, if I had a son, I would not have sent him to school. I would have asked him or taught him to practice meditation. In the meditation, we find these steps, yama, niyama, asana, this, then pranayama. We are concluding the pranayama, and in the pranayama, the result is, after perfecting pranayama, we can reach to that particular goal which is illumined. And second, we can get the capacity to dharana. So we have to hold. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, do you think human beings are ordinary? They can hold the God within their mind. They can think about God within their mind. Can they be ordinary? No ordinary person can think about God, because God is so vast. Many times people will be confused, and because we have to understand, in the Indian philosophy, the approaches are basically four. And the Jnanamargis, they talk about Brahman. This yogi, they talk about Atman. The Bhakti, they say Bhagavan. Like that, the different names, but the substratum, the ultimate thing, is the same. So here, that particular object where we are going, that is called, we can say, Atma Jnana, the knowledge of the self. But they say Samadhi. And that is the ultimate place where you get all joy, all power, and there it ends. Sabikalpa and Nirvikalpa. Nirvikalpa is the highest. Over that, nothing is there. What happens in the Nirvikalpa? We will try to understand when we will go to that particular chapter. But Nirvikalpa, no one can explain. It is a subjective knowledge. In the beginning itself, we know that it is a totally subjective, and we have to do it ourselves. Sabishaya asamprayoge chittasya swarupa anukara iva indriyanam pratyahara. Now the next step is coming, pratyahara. About the dharana, we will go to the next chapter. In the first aphorism of the next chapter, you will find that dharana. because that is very, very important. Almost the last. When you are climbing a hill, the last part is most difficult. So that's why this dharana, dhyan, and then samadhi. Very, very difficult. The moment one is perfect in dharana, that means he is perfect in dhyana to some extent and to a great extent. So before reaching to that dhyana, that dharana, and before that dharana, one step, the final step of practice is pratyahara. We are practicing now. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara is all practice going on. And when the 5 steps, all the practices we have perfected, then comes pratyahara, dharana. This pratyahara means withdrawing the mind. Now we practice. Sometimes we have seen the elephants, in particularly when I was in Assam, we used to hire the elephants in the procession. Elephants are very, very available over there. So elephants are going decorated, everything, whole night they have eaten. But still when they are going through the road, if nearby there is a plant, or particularly a plantain, immediately its trunk will go towards that. The Vishaya, the object, and the Indriya, the trunk, immediately. The elephant saw that plant, elephant saw the food, immediately its Indriya, the trunk, is going over there. The eye and the trunk is active. Then the person who is driving, it will be beating the animal and then move it. Similarly, our mind is going to so many things. That there are 5 objects only, not maximum, many, only 5 objects. Rupa, that's the beauty and the figure and all these things we call rupa. Name, fame, as you call it, rupa. And the gandha, the smell, shabda, it's a sound, touch, the feeling, by talk, the chakshu, karna, nasika, jiva, and tak, and hearing, like these 5 things are there. So chakshu, it goes to the object, particular object. The chakshu, the eye, is not hearing, is only seeing. So if we close the eyes, what happens? We are not seeing anything. And when we are not seeing anything, we are not affected by it. So sometimes some people, when we see that some very cruel thing is going on, even in the movies, we close our eyes and we are not affected. Sometimes there will be some people are just crackers, they are putting the crackers, bursting the crackers, a heavy sound is there, immediately, automatically our fingers, it goes and block the ear. When the ears are blocked, we don't hear much, so our mind is not affected. So we can understand that pratyahara means withdrawing the senses from the sense objects. Then there is a food, the tongue, it wants to eat, and we choose, oh, this is a very good food, it is tasty, it is not tasty, like this. It goes, so obviously our tongue tries to go over there. It brings the result to the mind, and mind is affected by that. All these 5 sense organs are bringing information. When we control this, our mind is controlled. If we can control this, our mind is controlled. So pratyahara means savishaya, drawing in the organs by giving up their objects. Drawing in, we are drawing in the organs, the senses, by giving up their objects. So what are the objects? 5 objects. What are the indriyas, organs? 5 indriyas. And each is having one object, 1:1. So we have to slowly withdraw this. So that's why I was telling in the beginning, now we cannot see anything. There's so much of snow everywhere, only white. We cannot see the trees. We cannot see the beauty of the flowers. We cannot see the birds are flying. We cannot see any people or person, a thing is moving. We cannot see different color even in the sky and the ground. Everything is nothing but white. So one indriya stopped automatically. That is the sight. The eye is closed. What to see? There's only snow, nothing. So we draw. When there are many varieties of things are going on, our eyes goes, bring back the information, mind is also enjoying. But now we look at outside, nothing is there. So one thing is helping us. No sound. Because of the snow, nothing. Nobody came out, not even the animals or the birds. So no sound outside. No smell. No taste. So this way, if we go, we find that all our indriyas are automatically withdrawn. Sa Vishaya, that particular object. Indriyanam sa Vishaya a samprayoge. Samprayoga means connection. When there is no connection, when the indriyas are not getting the connections, senses are not getting connections with the objects, what it becomes? It withdraws. Where it goes? Into the mind. And that is their home. They go inside the home and they stay over there. And what is the result? Quietness. So that exactly what we want in our meditation. That mind is tranquil. There is no wave. So let us once again think about it. We are here to control our mind, learning to control our mind. And what is the mind? That is the waves of thoughts. Where from the thoughts are coming? Thoughts are coming from the objects. Are the objects directly coming to us? No, they are coming through our senses. Then if we control the senses, what happens? Ultimately, it becomes tranquil. Then when the senses are closed, it becomes tranquil. When we sleep, deep sleep, there is no dream even, then it is the tranquil mind. Maybe for a second or so, sometimes, almost every day, everyone having that type of experience, and that consciously we have to reach. So, sa vishaya indriyanam asamprayoge, when the indriya senses are not capable to contact these objects, then they come back to the origin, that is the mind. Taking the form of the mind stuff, as it were, is known as pratyahara. Ahara means collection. Eating, they say ahara means eating, taking, collections. And now pratyahara means rejecting, to accept. So that is, pratyahara is self-regulated. We have to, no one can help us. When we are asking somebody not to look at, the person will look. So obviously he will be connected to that, and then all these things are coming. So sometimes some people, they're blinding their eyes, they're putting something on their eyes so that they cannot see. But that way it is not possible. It is a way we have to think. If I am looking at that particular object, or touching that particular thing, or eating that thing, or smelling, or hearing, my mind is going to be disturbed. Hence, I won't do that. That is my resolution. I am trying to do. So here, called pratyahara. Now, living in this world of thought, also sometimes pratyahara. Some people, sometimes I have seen some people are sitting over there, the homeless people. They are forced to sit over there as because they have no place to go. Some mad people, they are looking at the things, beautiful things, they are not affected by that. They have been given some good things, immediately they will throw it. They are not affected by that. Are they really doing the pratyahara? Obviously. Of course. It's a sort of a pratyahara. So they are not affected, connected by the sense with the sense objects. So it is also pratyahara. It says, the Hariharan Aranyaka, he is telling this is also a sort of a pratyahara, but that is not the pratyahara of your yogis. Some people are indifferent to the external objects. Maybe they are physically not capable. Maybe sometimes some elderly people, very elderly, they are suffering in so many ailments. So if you go and ask them, there's a beautiful music is going on, are you interested to listen? No. So not that it is a real pratyahara, but it is to some extent it is a pratyahara. Some people are suffering. If you are giving them good food, they will reject it. No, I don't like to take. So that way, all the five organs not functioning and withdrawing, that is also can be called as pratyahara. But the yogi, their pratyahara does not want to, they do not want the thing. They are capable to enjoy. Tavaiva vaha tabanirta gite. That is the small boy Nachiketa told to Yamaraja. Yamaraja was offering him so many things to enjoy. Then he said, I don't need that. So withdrawing because I don't need it. Swami Vivekananda is telling a beautiful story. There he is telling, if you have to become a sannyasi, you should become like this. Then he is narrating through a story. One young monk, he was passing through a kingdom and he saw that so much of advertisement that the princess of that kingdom is going to marry. And in those days, the princess, they used to choose their own husbands. So that is a function. In those days, there is nothing more to see. So he said, let me go and see what happens over here. He went. In the meantime, the princess came. She was going round choosing the people, and all the princes, kings, they were all sitting over there. But she was going round and she was not liking anyone. Suddenly, she saw that young sannyasi standing near the gate, just curious to see what is going on. But she liked him very much. So the story goes, she went and garlanded that sannyasi. Sannyasi immediately took out the garland and told, my dear lady, I think you are not understanding. I am a sannyasi. I am not at all interested to marry. Please take it back. And then again she put, without uttering any word, to impress that I know who you are, but still I like to marry you. Second time, he threw that garland of flowers. Then the king came and told the young man, perhaps you are afraid that as you are not having anything as an occupation, so obviously you are afraid to marry a princess. Don't worry. I will give you this whole, the kingdom to you. You marry my only daughter. She is very beautiful. She liked you. You marry and have a nice life. Become the king of this place. This person left that court and started running. And he went and somehow entered into that woods, a forest, and never came back. Swami Vivekananda is telling, if you like to be a monk, you have to withdraw your mind from this. All these things are there, but I don't want. That is called pratyahara. A yogi, when he is sitting for meditation, when he is controlling his mind, he must have to withdraw all this. Bhojaraja, in his Raja Martanda Vritti, Vritti means giving the explanation of some of the words. This is pratyahara. So, Bhojaraja is telling, Indriyani Vishayebhya Pratipa Mahiyante iti pratyahara. It means when the senses move to the opposite directions, when the senses move to the opposite directions of their objects, it's called pratyahara. So there is something I don't like to see, my eyes go back, so it is called pratyahara. And finally, in this chapter, the last aphorism, it says, Tata Parama Bashyate Indriyanam. Thence, Tata, arise the complete and supreme mastery, control over the senses. After the pratyahara, the complete mastery or the control of the senses. The object of every sannyasi, their names begins with Swami. The Swami means the master. Master of what? Master of the senses. Now, if they are the master of the senses, they are really Swami. If they are not, then they go for this government post or MLA, MP, this position, that position. He is having a gerua cloth, he has taken the sannyasa diksha, and at the same time his desire is to become a MLA or MP or a this or that position. He is not a sannyasi at all. So that is the main thing we have to understand. The name, fame, everything for a sannyasi, not for the grihasthis, the householders. Householders, how they are controlling the mind? They will be withdrawing from those objects and putting their mind in a particular object. What is that? God. Ishvara pranidhanat ba. So they are withdrawing the mind and giving the mind to the God, and by that they are getting everything, whatever they want. So the yoga, it gives a wonderful result, miraculous result. If you want, you get everything. About that, the miraculous result, we will study in the next chapter. It's called Vibhuti Pada. In the Vibhuti Pada, we will find Vibhuti, all the miraculous things. Pada means the chapter. In the next class, we will begin our third chapter of the book. It's called Vibhuti Pada. So today, I thank you, those who could come over here after such a long drive, and in this situation, in this atmosphere, everything is closed, but if still you could come, I really congratulate you, thank you, but ask you to be very careful when you are driving back. When you are driving, be very, very careful. Now let us complete this with the sloka. Aham nirvikalpo, aham nirvikalpo. Let me do this, as because the number is less. Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupa vibhutvacha sarvatra sarvendriyanam navasangatam naiva muktirnameya chidananda rupa shivoham 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 shivoham.